I was visiting Chattanooga to deliver a sculpture for their Public Art Chattanooga temporary exhibitions downtown. And so I delivered the sculpture and we installed it, and I showed the people that make up Public Art Chattanooga the picture of one that I had done in another city, and said, if this is ever interesting to you, let's get in touch. Public Art Chattanooga got together with the Glass House Collective, a community organization that's trying to revitalize the the Glass Street neighborhood.
Glass Street has been a main street in the past, obviously, and it's been largely forgotten. And I think the neighborhood feels like it's been largely forgotten as a whole. And so Chattanooga, downtown Chattanooga, has had a huge emphasis on renovation, renewal, over the past 20 years. But these neighborhood pockets that are so close to downtown haven't had that.
We were thinking about what can we do that's really going to get the community excited and to continue this momentum and do something that maybe isn't permanent, but that will make a lasting impact. So they came to us and told us about Rise Up Chattanooga. We got it all worked out and we're so excited, and it really, I think what made the most sense to us was noticing that Charlie had done this in other cities, but he did them in places where they were in museums or in downtown.
And Chattanooga is great, but we have to have a whole city. And in order to do that, we have to have these neighborhoods like East Chattanooga and Glass Farms District to become whole.
That was beginning in my mind of thinking about Rise Up projects in a different way. They're different because Glass House Collective is not a large institution in the center of a city that is interested in broadening its audience so much as it's interested in attracting and bringing people from the neighborhood together to figure out how they can revitalize this community.
We're working with individual artists to help make Glass Street more safe, clean, and inviting through a series of projects that are also making this part of our city more distinctive, because we think that bringing Glass Street back to life will ultimately kickstart positive change in East Chattanooga, adding to the vibrancy of our city as a whole.
And we thought that if we could get ladders from all over the community and tie them together, we would demonstrate or create an image of what a community should look like, or maybe it's our ideal of what a community can be if everybody treats everybody equal and understands that they need support and they need to support others.
I'm a local artist, and so I believe it's important to include artists when you're thinking about doing community revitalization, because we're resourceful, and so we could build something out of 20 nails if we had to, just kind of thinking of ways to scrap together to kind of create something. So that's what artists do.
And basically what they said they wanted to do was to make as much contact with people in the immediate neighborhood and bring them together for meetings. And they got architects to come and attend those meetings, and city planners, and they asked the people, what do you think would help make this neighborhood better? And they came up with things like we need better lighting, more bus stops, crosswalks, seating. We need to clean up and get rid of any trash. And they thought if those kinds of things were done, then there would be the beginning of a vision of how this place could be reborn, so that some of these empty store buildings might start to look attractive to somebody who wanted to start a business here. And if one business started, maybe others would come. There was a lady approximately my age that I got to meet in this neighborhood, and we hit it off right away because she had grandchildren and I have grandchildren. And so we talked about that a little bit, and about the joy that is to experience having grandchildren. And she heard about this project, and she wanted to lend a step stool to be part of it. And she had heard that Glass House was here, and trying to do some things to help change the neighborhood. And she then, after signing up her ladder, she went inside and talked to them about volunteering, about different programs that they're doing. And so the ladder project actually served as an introduction to a community organization that's doing something that she really believes in and wants to be part of. In the effort to try to inform the community about the need for borrowing ladders to build this structure about the community, one strategy I've used is to tell schools that I'm doing this and to volunteer to give talks at the schools about the project and the way that it's about community and about hopes and dreams, the things that we can relate to children. I think children understand those kinds of ideas. And then in return, I ask if the school has ladders to lend. And some schools have lent me a plain ordinary ladder. Other times an art teacher gets an idea of having the children being involved in making ladders. So here we've got a popsicle sticks glued together. It's actually several ladders all combined together. And one of the schools here brought it in. It's all decorated with children's names on it. So they're in this sculpture about this community with their ladder being part of it. And to me, that also extends the idea to to children participating and seeing themselves in this thing about the community. Over here, we've got a very painterly decorated ladder that has these arrows with symbols on them that and writings on them that the students came up with that show their kind of ideas of connecting to the idea of what a ladder might symbolize, and then their ladder is tied into the overall sculpture. And these ladders that come from the schools or from artists add a creative element to the sculpture that I invite, but I have no control over, and it becomes more of something that's even more about them. But it also is about communities. I like to see these creative ladders tied in with a lot of plain ordinary ones, and communities are like that. There's some parts of communities that are sort of staunch, upstanding citizens that help hold it together, and then we have elements that take risks and try different ideas and are the creative parts. And so the sculpture, through the schools especially, helps to communicate that.
What we're trying to do down here in Glass Street is really look at some of these forgotten neighborhoods and really draw folks to them and get, again, the residents excited about the future of their neighborhood and give them pride. So having this in their community, I mean, they're just walking around with smiles. They can't believe it's here. They lended a ladder. Charlie knocked on their door. I mean, it's been really great, and I think that having this here in this place to then ask Chattanooga to help Chattanooga rise up was key, because it's not Rise Up Glass Street, it's Rise Up Chattanooga, because it's going to take all of Chattanooga to rise Glass Street up.